In today's video, I got 4 tips for you guys in order to avoid drinking and smoking during this holiday Thanksgiving season. And none of these tips have anything to do with like drinking a seltzer water or doing this instead of doing that. All of this is going to be about the mindset necessary to avoid alcohol and avoid weed while you're with friends and family this holiday season. If you like today's video, be sure to check out the pinned comment or the video description to learn more about our paid and free coaching program options. All right, guys, tip number 1, going into this holiday season, you have to decide, are you an influencer or are you the person who's going to be influenced? Are you a consumer or are you a producer? And I know this might sound very minuscule, like the idea of having a drink at Thanksgiving or the idea of having a smoke, but if you've struggled with addiction, there's a good chance that, like me, you've spent a large majority of your life being the person who's constantly consuming, being the person who's constantly influenced. And this is a crucial point in time where you can start to change from being the consumer, from being the person who's influenced, from being the person who produces results and who actually influences others. You'd be amazed at the influence that I've had on other people in my life, the positive influence that I've had just by not drinking alcohol and not smoking weed, and the amount of people that I've never even talked to about quitting alcohol or quitting smoking weed that have decided to make a change just based on seeing my behaviors and my actions, whether it's at a holiday event or at a social event or something like that. So step number 1, ask yourself this holiday season, are you the person who's influenced or are you the person who influences? Are you the consumer or are you the producer? Step number 2 is I want you to get acquainted with making people uncomfortable, okay? And this actually ties right into mindset number 3. Stop being a people pleaser. So many people will relapse on alcohol and relapse on smoking weed because they're people pleasers and they get uncomfortable when other people become uncomfortable. I want you to realize something. It's not actually you who's uncomfortable when you're saying no to smoking weed with friends, no to drinking alcohol at the family dinner, when your mom, dad, aunts, and uncles and everyone's trying to give you alcohol. It's actually them who's uncomfortable, okay? And then what happens is them being uncomfortable because you said no to drinking alcohol or smoking weed suddenly makes you uncomfortable. And then we identify that discomfort as something that we don't like. And it's like, okay, fine, I'll just have a shot with you guys. Fine, I'll just have a smoke with you guys. Despite the fact that I'm the person who's struggling with addiction, despite the fact that you're the person who has to suffer with the consequences and side effects of the actions that you take, right? Because largely your uncle's day, your friend's day, your mom and dad's day, their day is going to go on the next day, right? Maybe they're not the ones who have struggled with addiction to these substances in the past. So I want you this holiday season to get comfortable with making other people uncomfortable with the decisions that you make, okay? Assuming you're making good decisions for yourself, of course. And I want you to stop being a people pleaser. So many people who struggle with addiction, I know this was a major flaw of mine. I just wanted to make everyone happy all the time, for better or for worse. I was constantly all about pleasing other people. I'm to a point now in my sobriety journey, I could be out at a restaurant, someone could order a drink for me, someone could order shots over to our table while I'm out and about. I'm not going to drink them. I don't care how much money they spend on it. I don't drink, period. I don't smoke, period. I'm sorry if that makes you uncomfortable. I'm sorry if my decisions make you uncomfortable, but not my problem. That's a you problem, not a me problem. This is the mentality that I want you guys to approach this holiday with. And I know it sounds like kind of bleak and kind of staunch and kind of like, oh, hard, but you don't have a choice in some cases. You have to start to put your sobriety first. The last piece of advice that I'll give you, tip number 4, is to actually start showing some gratitude. This is something that I've been working on a lot over the last 1.5 to 2 years, and that's actually being grateful for the things that I have. Throughout my sobriety process, I've reclaimed my time, I've reclaimed my finances, I've reclaimed my mental capacities and my physical health. And I'm actually very, very grateful for that. And how I show gratitude is using my time and using my energy to, in one way, shape, or form, give back to others. Even though Addiction Mindset Recovery Coaching is a for-profit company, even though our newest supplement is a for-profit supplement, our Kick It Crave Less chewing gum. Learn more about it in the pinned comment. If cravings during social situations is something you struggle with, hint, hint, pinned comment. Even though we're a for-profit company, we give away a ton of stuff for free. My YouTube channel is free. I have a free support group. I do free seminars in high schools throughout New York State and other communities that need help when it comes to addiction. A lot of stuff I do is 100% free. And that's how I show gratitude. That's how I give back. I have the energy to do it. I have the mental capacity and the education to do it. Showing gratitude is using the skills that you have, the things that you've been fortunate enough to get in your life or obtain in your life, and teaching those things to other people, sharing that stuff with other people. That's been my first and foremost way of showing gratitude. And then, of course, there's the more traditional, just kind of pause, look around you, and see what you have. Because chances are you have something. Even if you have to start with the basics. Do you have running water? Do you have food? Do you have a roof over your head? Okay, good. That's a great place to start. A lot of times I wake up in a bad mood because I wanted this or I wanted that. Or I wish my family situation was different. I wish my parents were happily married. I wish there was this. I wish this was better. I wish that was better. This part of my life kind of sucks right now. It's really easy to get focused on the negatives. And I know, especially around the holidays, if you've struggled with active addiction, this is a time where people really tend to hone in on the negatives. I know I did. And starting to show gratitude, starting to acknowledge the things that I had, and then taking that a step further and utilizing the things that I had, both the external and like kind of physical things, and then my psychological capacities to give back to others, has really been a life-changing experience. At the end of the day, if you're trying not to drink alcohol, understand alcohol is ethanol. It's gasoline. You don't need it. There's nowhere in your body where you're going to process that in a healthy manner. It's not good for you. It's not good for anyone. If you're trying to stop smoking weed and you've been struggling with weed addiction, just acknowledge that the people around you who are smoking might not be going through the same struggles you have. And tomorrow, when you wake up, they're going to be your struggles. Their life is going to go on. Their day is going to go on. They're going to completely forget whether or not you smoked with them within the next 48 hours. You're the one who has to deal with the consequences of the choices and actions that you make throughout this holiday season. If you're the person who's going to be constantly influenced, if you're the person who's going to be constantly consuming other people's stuff, you're inevitably going to lose control of your own life, right? Because that's saying, oh, I'm influenced by everyone else. I have no capacity to make my own decisions. I have no capacity to stand my own ground. I have no capacity to see a promise, a commitment that I made myself through. This is a life without control. And when we're not in control of our own decisions, of our own actions, I know for me, life became very, very depressing and very, very bleak. When we have a lack of control, everyone wants control, right? Everyone wants to be in control. And when we feel like we're at a complete loss of control, it's a very depressing, very anxiety-provoking situation. This might be a chance to turn all of this around this holiday season. It's a big opportunity. And the last thing I'll say is this. For a lot of people, getting through that first holiday sober, this is one of those milestones. This is what addiction rehab and addiction recovery is all about. It's all about going through life's events, life's experiences without the crutch of a drug. And you're going to go through a bunch of things, happy things, sad things, holidays, changes of seasons. And it's going to take about a year to go through all those different experiences. It's okay if you're struggling. It's okay if you don't have a great Thanksgiving because you were thinking about drinking or thinking about smoking. It's okay that you might not have the best of times because you're early on in your sobriety. I promise next year it's going to be better, but it only gets better if you practice. If you enjoyed today's video, check out that pinned comment to learn more about our Crave Less chewing gum, KSM-66, ashwagandha, and N-acetylcysteine. First people in the world to ever create something like this. Or learn more about our one-on-one coaching, or simply download some of our free guides. We have the 11 foundational pillars of recovery, the sobriety, or tolerance break checklist. We have the free 7 steps to quitting nicotine or quitting smoking weed. Tons of free resources for you guys if you're not interested in the paid stuff. I'll see you guys in the pinned comment or the video description.